Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Puck Witches, a vibes-based podcast where we yap about all things hockey. Today is January 23rd, 2026, and I'm your host, Saint. This is my partner in crime, Champ. Champ, how you doing?
It's cold, and it's gonna snow 18 feet, and we're going to never be able to get out of our house again.
I thought we were escaping the majority of it. We sure the fuck are not.
Nope.
So I hope everybody who's listening stayed safe. I hope didn't lose too much power, all that fun shit. But yeah, we love you all. Please stay safe. As always, though, we have a lot to discuss this episode, so let's jump right into it. Champ, we gotta talk about it.
I actually have a thing that says on my phone that I'm not talking to you for the rest of the season.
This is the problem with certain hockey fans.
Right.
Which is that
certain hockey fans. Okay, go on.
Which is that you have won 8 out of 10 games against the Oilers. And may I remind you that our first in-person Penguins game, the Oilers shut out the Penguins 4-0 on home ice. And then you have the audacity to lose your fucking mind because we blew you out of the water one time.
Oh my god. Yeah, I do have the audacity. So for those of you who don't know, we had another face-off. It was Pens versus Oilers Electric Boogaloo. And dear God, thank God there's no more face-offs between these teams for the rest of the year, because I don't think I could handle it.
It was so good as a Pens fan, because like here's the thing. Everyone that we wanted, like, it was just such a perfect Pens game. Our defense was perfect. I mean, we weren't flawless, obviously, but like the Pens this month have just been so fucking insane. It was like that flash in the pan that we had in October.
Yeah.
Like the end of October and like the beginning of November. And then we kind of went down, and, you know, we've had ups and downs and stuff like that. But this is where like all of the pieces seem to have finally clicked together.
God, I wish that was my team.
Like, so like Gino is like gunning for another year. He wants to sign a contract extension. Like, the babies are doing good. Our defense is defending. Honestly, even if we had not traded a single fucking thing other than Kulak, I think it was worth it. Skinner's been good for us so far because of our tandem situation. Whereas I think he was not going to ever really do well in Edmonton unless you guys got another A goalie. But like, just Kulak coming in and like centering Letang and being a reliable, dependable PKer, and
which
just
we
like he's just a dude who shows the fuck up.
He would be perfect on the Pens.
Yes, I said it so many times. I was like, please, like, what? Because you were saying, well, who would we trade for Jari, blah, blah. And I was like, I wanted Kulak so bad. To me, he is one of our underrated pieces that we got. And then the Columbus Blue Jackets, like, their fans were on copium because they were like, I think this one right after we got Chinikov, he had played like a couple games for us and he was doing really well. And everybody was like, oh, well, you guys, it's too early to see if you really want the trade. Dude, he's fucking dominating here.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's not a case of that he could have done that in CBJ. I think it was just that, like,
there's talk of him that he didn't want to be in CBJ though. Like, that's
they weren't
whole
playing
thing.
him. He was getting scratched all the time. He was not getting the minutes he wanted. Like, I think it was just a case of like sometimes a change of scenery is copium, right? Where like the player is the player. I felt that way about Trent Frederick, where I was like, we've seen him play in Boston. I don't think that he is. I will say he is slowly starting to turn around. Yeah, but it wasn't like a case of like instant turnaround,
Correct.
Which is what people had expected.
He also had the high ankle strain, which that was going to screw him over. Anyways,
ankles, I fear are like a permanent -1 to all of his skills. But like the Chinikov is doing fantastic here, and Skinner's doing really well.
It's just obviously we were watching it together, and both of us had hard weeks, as we always do. So hockey watching together is usually a safe space. It's a time for me to yap with my best friend. And I fucking knew that because the last game was so painful versus the Pens versus the Oilers, it was Leon Draisaitl's 1,000th point, and it was also the first face-off between the two teams 4 days after that major trade. So, like, I knew it was going to hurt coming back to Edmonton after we had that such an incredible game in Pittsburgh. The problem is, I didn't want to accept it. So when they scored 3 goals in 37 seconds, which, by the way, is a record against Edmonton. That's never happened. That's the first time that's been that low. I at one point I just went dead silent.
And I thought your call had dropped again.
Yeah, because my computer did crash yesterday. But it was just one of those things where I was like, oh, okay. And again, as somebody who loves the Penguins, they are my East Coast team. And I know people are like, you're not supposed to have an East Coast team. Fuck off. I love the Penguins so much. Going to Pittsburgh is one of my favorite things to do because it's a trip with both my dad and my brother and my best friend. And so favorite time of the year is to go in March when we go on our trips. I could not have hated the Pens more last night. It was just so and we talked about this last night.
Which is funny because I didn't hate the Oilers that much. Like, don't get me wrong, I was like, me and the Oilers are not friends right now, but I wasn't like crashing out the last. It
was the 3 goals in a
37 seconds,
and then it was boring hockey. Like, it wasn't fun to watch. It was miserable.
My mutuals who are Pens fans were like, we talk about Pens hockey, were saying what you were saying. They were like, sleepy. The Oilers looked asleep on the ice. They even were saying, like, they were even defending Jari. Like, dude, what the fuck is Jari supposed to do when his defense is asleep? Like, and Jari, yeah, some of those were on him, but
some of them were on Jari. I'm not gonna, glaze him like he's the perfect goalie. Like, he's not. But he shouldn't be left out to dry that many times. Like, the defense got dog walked like 4 or 5 times. And one of them was a nasty Sid.
Chinakov's was fucking filthy.
Yeah. Then the Sid deflection was just incredible. And then but that's because he's the best player in the freaking sport of all time. I'm not giving that honor to anybody else. So it was just one of those things where I was like, oh my God. And then nothing was happening. And I was like, give us a fight. Like, give us something to, spook, like, wake me up because I'm falling asleep at my desk. It's 3 minutes into the very first period, and I want to go do other things. That game dragged out so long. Oh my gosh.
We just kept going. Like, the first period was all the hockey we needed in that
pretty
game.
much.
Like, you know what I mean? It was like 40 more minutes was just brutal. I obviously, as a Pens fan, was enjoying it, but like, as the Oilers' perspective, it was like even. Like, people were saying, like, oh, well, Gino picked Davos' pocket and, like, then comes it, which was one of the most beautiful goals.
Like, again, I love fucking Gino goals. I want Gino to have an extension. Like, I like that he's getting those incredible goals.
But it wasn't that he picked Davos' pocket. It was that whoever passed to McDavid, because all the clips cut it off too short.
Yeah.
They don't show the pass that went to Connor. It wasn't a good pass. He couldn't get, like, everybody's like, why didn't Connor go in? It was a bad pass.
Yeah.
It shouldn't have been, like, I'm sorry, but Gino's a shark. Like,
also,
he's right fucking there.
They didn't shoot the fucking puck on the 4-on-1.
Dude, you guys could have had a comeback.
My God.
Absolutely could have had a comeback.
Again, I was
shoot the puck.
Ill. And
even I was screaming, like, why didn't they shoot there? Why didn't they shoot there?
I feel so bad for our friends Coda and Callie. Because whenever our hockey teams are not doing well, like, obviously, most of the time it's kept in between our DMs. But when we play each other, it bleeds into every other aspect of our life, aka our group chat. And they had to witness you and I going from lovers to enemies. About to tear each other's...
Mom and Mom are fighting.
About to tear each other's throat out. We were so sick of it. I texted my husband and I was like, listen, I'm never talking to Saint again. Which, again, was mostly a joke. The other thing that I think was funny, and I am starting to get very afraid of this, is that are the Pens and the Oilers going to face? Because it would be very funny if they got to the Stanley Cup final and we were just miserable.
Because this is the thing that we've talked about since the start of hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our first season, was it my cousin or your dad who was like, what would you do if they met
my dad.
each other? It was your dad.
Yeah.
Okay. It was it was like, what do you do if they meet in the cup? Like,
first of all, we spend all of our life savings to go to Pittsburgh.
I max out my credit cards and we go to at least one Oilers game and at least one Pens game. Like, home ice.
Yeah.
The other thing is, we said we would kill each other at center ice.
Double suicide.
Like, in a murder suicide. Like, just whatever happened, but like we would kill each other at center ice.
Yep.
Actually, the joke was kill ourselves at center ice.
Yeah.
Then that way there.
But now I think kill each other at center ice is more fitting.
Yeah, I think we've progressed.
Yep.
As our diehardisms have increased to our teams.
If you ever hear us say center ice, that's where that comes from, because we can't handle it.
It's gotten to be like a running joke to the point where like I'm worried our friends are gonna pick up on it, because we'll just be like center ice, like center ice, and it just.
But I mean, listen, the Oilers are going through it. The one thing that I think was also very funny, you lost your shit, because obviously right now the Pens and the Oilers, where they're sitting at on the overall board of hockey, y'all are only 2 points ahead of us now. And so you were 1 point ahead of us. Oh, sorry, you're 3 points ahead of us now, because you were 1 point ahead of us last night. And I was like, you're already in the higher part of the standings. And you're like, but we're not in first, screaming at each other at the top of my lungs. And like, literally, I threw my voice out. I was so upset. It was such a funny fucking night. Like,
it was just,
we have not laughed like that in a while, because there was nothing else going on in the hockey game.
Yeah, like it was just ridiculous. And like it got to the point, like when Gino scored that goal, I gasped like I'd seen like a spider in front of me. I was like, oh! And like clapped my hand in my mouth, because it was just so filthy. And the Chinikov one where I was like, that's a goal. And then there was no reaction from anyone. And I was like, oh, maybe it was barred down over the line. And then I saw them selling and I was like, oh no, it was really a goal. Like,
it's fine. It's fine. Thank God we have no more face-offs. I don't think I can handle A, being mad at you, and B, not enjoying the Pens. It's miserable every single time. Like, I never get over it.
It's definitely one of those things where it's never a good time.
Never a good time.
It's never like we're battling neck and neck.
Yeah.
It's, like
which we talked about. That would be fine.
It's a good hockey game. Like,
that would be fine.
It's never that. It's always just a fucking blowout misery. The other side just gives the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like,
it's fine. All right. Well, speaking of craziness going around the league, the trade deadline's getting ready to come up, and we saw some pretty big trades in the league this week, including Rasmus Andersson from Calgary going to fucking Vegas.
Yeah. Vegas, I guess, is just once again, is just they get whatever they want.
I guess.
Somehow. They are definitely putting all their chips in the baskets
for this year.
For like, that they want to be winning the cup this year or next year. Like I see them as like they want to win this year, as opposed to kind of like coasting and building toward like maybe we'll go deep into the finals, or
they're not planning on a dynasty is what it is.
No, they're like, we are going for now. This is win now scenario.
Yeah, so they traded Rasmus Andersson to Vegas, which, first of all, fuck you, Calgary. I'm pissed at Calgary, as per usual.
Yeah, trading him to a conference rival are they divisional rivals too?
Yes, like First of all, they traded him for Zach Whitecloud. Then they traded a defense prospect, a conditional first-round pick in the 2027 draft, and a conditional second-round pick in the 2028 draft. That was Vegas's sale to Calgary. And Calgary traded Rasmus Andersson and retained 50% of his salary? Like, I was gobsmacked. The
retention is crazy to me, and I assume it's because there's no because he could have gotten an extension.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like re-signed. I assume that's because Calgary's tanking, right? Like they're just tanking.
Are they? Do they know that?
Did they? I don't know. I guess that's what the front office appears to be doing. I don't fully know, but like it's definitely a scenario where like they're in this for the short term, not the long term. Because if he doesn't, like, he can walk. At the end. He can re-sign if he wants to, or he can walk and go get paid somewhere else. Like,
I don't know enough about Rasmus Andersson. I was very upset because they traded in division, but we did beat him when he played with Calgary. So who knows? I feel like that doesn't necessarily heighten their, like, I don't think that's as big as a Rantanen trade. It's a big deal, but Rantanen, anywhere Rantanen was going, he was going to be like incredible on the ice.
Yeah. I guess it's also a case of like, are we going to see what he can do now on a different team?
Yeah.
Like
a team that actually goes places.
Yeah.
And also gets away with a lot of shit. Then there was also the Kiefer Sherwood trade to the Sharks. And that one also surprised me. I didn't know that the Sharks were in the running. They also did not offer him a re-sign, but they traded him for 2 second-round picks and a 20-25-year-old defenseman, Cole Clayton. He hasn't played yet. He's been injured, apparently. This is from the Canucks to the Sharks.
Okay.
And now there's like chatter coming in where they're thinking that he would probably be a flip, which is shocking to me. Like, not terribly shocking.
I guess, but like they're making playoffs, right? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, they're
like,
currently,
so
where are they at?
Who are they going to take for him instead? I guess is my question.
I mean,
is it just because he's injured? Like,
maybe, but also like if he's a flip, do you flip him? Because they didn't re-sign him. So either way, he's hitting open market on July 4th or 1st, unless they re-sign him in between the offseason or whatever, like the before UFA launches. The Sharks are tied with the Kraken for a wild card position right now. So they did drop, but it's the Ducks, the Kraken, and the Sharks, and then the Kings. All of them are within 2 points of each other. So that race is tight. And then, so I think that the Sharks, they don't want to pay him, according to Elliot Friedman, they didn't want to pay him $5 million for 5 years unless he just, immensely clicks on the ice. And I don't blame him.
Yeah,
I don't blame them.
Like, especially because like he's 30. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like wherever he goes next, he's either going to be one of those players that bounces every year and does a bunch of short-term contracts, or he's going to go get paid and lock in for the rest of his career, like 6 years or whatever. It'll be like a 6-year deal.
Yeah.
And then that's it. So
I'm once again surprised that they traded in. Well, I guess it's the Canucks. It's not that big of a deal for them. But I feel like there would have been maybe other options because they were talking about him coming to the East Coast.
Yeah,
I'm just glad that Florida can't make any offers on any of these players.
Which honestly, so like Florida, like we got to talk about that.
No, we don't.
Like, I mean, like Florida's kind of out. They're not out of contention. They're not out of contention unless they kick into high gear. But like, they kind of put all their eggs in one basket,
in an older
right?
basket.
Like, where like they thought they were going for a dynasty by re-signing all of the players who won them the cup. And then they took team-friendly deals and like they made it all work. And that's not to say that they're not going to make playoffs. It's just that they have lower chances right now just because of how tight the race in the East is.
And also they've got a lot of injuries.
They do have a shit ton of injuries. Florida has played the most hockey in the past 3 years than any other team because they went to the finals
all 3 times. That's right.
All 3 times. So they've played the most hockey. So I think that's one of the things of the chickens coming home to roost.
Yeah.
A little bit where like now they're going to pay for it and they may not make playoffs, but they have no room to move unless some of their players don't have no movement clauses.
I don't know enough about like the Oilers throw out new movement clauses like it's candy. Which is again kind of screwing us over right now.
Yeah, their GM in Florida is a lot stricter.
Like
he's a lot more savvy, I would say.
Well, yeah. But with this potential for Kiefer Sherwood being flipped, as a Sharks, like as somebody we talked about this a little bit, is that we always think the future is teal. Is it teal now? Because the Sharks are starting to trade picks for players, which is impressive.
I kind of wonder. Yes, because like we talked about it a little bit, where it was like,
are the Sharks out of a rebuild?
Are the Sharks? Yeah, are they out of the rebuild? But I don't know. I think they're not cup contention. Like, okay, I have the same feelings about the Pens as I do the Sharks. Okay, they might have a fun playoff run. However, the Sharks are too green. Yeah. Unless there's some major movements, they're not going deep. They'll probably be a first round bounce. It will be good practice for next year.
Yeah.
And they can see where their weak points are. All of those young rookies can get some like genuine practice in. And they can like get a vibe, start to be more confident, all of that, which is a good thing. And then for the Pens, it's more that like they're playing with an incredible depth and a lot of heart. And they filled in basically all the gaps they need to. The only thing we're really missing is a super strong left-handed D. And then like maybe, because we're talking about like trade deadline, who do you want to get? I would say a left-handed D. And then honestly, Kevin Hayes, I adore you. I don't want you on my team anymore.
Oh yeah, that's actually a good question to ask, is because with the roster freeze coming on February 4th, are there any final major trades that you see happening around the league?
Well, I guess so. Fun fact.
Okay.
There are only 3 teams with more regulation wins than the Buffalo Sabres. The Avs, the Lightning, and the Stars. So right now, if you look at, yes, this just came out. If you were to go on regulation wins alone, the top 4 contenders are the Avs, the Lightning, the Stars, and the Sabres. So do you see a Sabres versus Tampa Bay? Like, you know what I mean?
Like,
that's isn't that crazy?
I knew that the Sharks,
but they're only in the wild card, but because of the overtime wins or the those
pity points.
They're in a wild card spot. It's Boston and Buffalo are fighting for the wild card spot in the East. So like isn't that fucking crazy? So does Buffalo now, believing that they're in a playoff run, did they start like making some trades? Because they were trading away good players all the fucking time before. Like now, do they go, hey, what can we get some of y'all back?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Wow. I don't know their cap situation, but like, damn. I knew that the regulation wins was kind of, it's been the conversation of, do we need to change the system again? Because it's kind of cringe. Because Vegas has all these like incredible overtime wins, but they have like 15 regulation wins. I gotta pull up the standings again. Hang on. They have 24 wins, 13 losses, and 12 overtime losses, compared to the Sharks, who have 25 wins, 21 losses, and 3 overtime losses. Like, to be right at the same pace with wins as the Sharks, and the Sharks be so much lower in point standings, is crazy. But the Buffalo Sabres being like, oh, hey, by the way, we're up top with the big boys in regulation wins. Can we get a little credit? That's crazy to me.
Yeah, like, this also makes me every day wish that
3-2-1
went to 3-2-1.
Yeah, I'm starting to become a believer.
I think it would be so much better, because then you would have I just want the reward for winning in regulation to mean something.
Okay.
As opposed to like to it would, as someone whose team has gone to overtime so many times unnecessarily, if that threat had been there of like, well, you're gonna lose a point.
Yeah.
You're gonna, as opposed to like
lock in.
Lock in. And I feel like that would show, because that's how it is.
I mean, also then we have this is a whole conversation for after the season is over, maybe, or maybe it's when we're on Olympic air quote break, but the discussion about overtime hockey in the first place. We've gotten so many shootouts this year, it feels like, just because they sit and they chill for the 5 minutes, and then they go, okay, we are going to a shootout. And I'm like, give me actual, like, playoff overtime hockey is my favorite. I wish that we adopted that into regular season. I know it would be unlikely because of how many people, like, how many games there are. They want to kind of move them along.
Would you rather just have ties back?
No. Fuck that.
Like, no, but like overtime. Like where if neither team
because I hate
wins in
shootouts.
overtime, they both get. Yeah, I mean, I hate shootouts. I understand they're like a young kid sport, and I don't hate it. Even when the Pens were not the worst team in the league at shootouts, like, it's just something I've never enjoyed. It's stressful. It removes the team aspect so much and puts so much pressure on the goalies, and it's just not. I don't enjoy shootouts at all. I know some people do. I think it's fun for like the All-Star game. So what do you think if nobody wins in overtime, do you both get the loser point?
Yes. I like that better.
So,
but then you have to like enforce the I think that here you go to 10 minutes. If you do 10 minutes full, then you can go back and forth in your zone. If you do 5 minutes, you cannot go past the blue line.
Okay, I would be fine with keeping shootouts if you adopt that rule of you cannot go past your own line.
Okay.
Like, you can't. Because I think that's the most
that is obnoxious. Because then they're like, let's just chill. It's 5 minutes of rolling around in circles.
Get rid of 3-on-3 and just make it 5-on-5 for 10 minutes. You can't go backwards. Like, I think that, like, or keep it 3-on-3 fine, and you can't go backwards in 5 minutes, whatever. But they got to change something. It's just, I mean, I guess it's not the end of the world, but it's just one of those small annoying things. So anyways, back to like the trading.
I was gonna say, I do think that the Oilers are trying to trade Mangiapane before the deadline. He's not making a good case for himself. I'm not shocked that he has not been picked up, but I do think that he'll get it in. Stan Bowman will get it in before the deadline is up, or maybe like right after. Because you think about it, we come back from the Olympics, and the roster deadline is at March 6th. Like,
and we have the Olympic break. Like,
that's
it's
right.
soon.
And that's so February 4th to like, I think it's February 22nd. They can't make trades. And then we get back, we play like 5 games, and then it's March 7th or March 6th. And that's your final for the rest of the season until UFA. So like, come on, let's pick up the pace and get some trades made. I also think that there's been some talk about the Rangers in Seattle making a trade, like a 1-for-1. I don't think Seattle goes for Panarin. That's he's an older player. He's 34.
I don't know. Like,
just sigh.
Like, it's just, this is one of those ones where, like, I know the trade deadline is going to cause me irreparable psychic damage.
Yeah. Not as bad as last year.
Not as bad as last year. I do genuinely trust Kyle DeBoss. He has not given me any reason so far other than the fact that he hasn't re-signed Gino. I think he's just doing it later for the bit. Especially because Gino's been like, I will take pay cuts. I will do this, blah, 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 blah. But so Rangers are in a retool. Who do they sell for how much? And like, because we talked about it the other week about like, all of their different assets. And I don't know, as the team that has the most picks for like the next 2 drafts,
Pittsburgh
does.
Yeah.
I think that like, it looks like we're in a playoff run. DeBoss had promised, basically, the front office overall had basically said, listen, Sid, Gino Tanger, we are going to try and get you playoffs. And that first year that DeBoss was in, it didn't happen. Obviously,
which was the Jake Gensel trade, right?
Yes, it didn't happen because we saw we weren't going to make playoffs. It was a long shot, and it was obviously really upsetting. The Pens are a very emotional team.
What?
And so then it didn't this year though, and then it didn't happen last year either. But this year, I feel like is one of those where like, don't count the Pens out too early.
I think you guys get 3rd spot. That's like my hot take.
3rd in the Metro.
I think you get 3rd spot.
There's no way we race after the Canes unless the Canes have like a little crash out.
Yes.
I think we have benefits that, again, DeBoss, you're so smart. We have a couple of Russian players now who will not be playing during the Olympic breaks and thus will be well rested when we come back. He's gotten like, it's like
the trade from the Avs.
Yeah. We have like 3 So at the very least, it's Cheetakov and Gino, where it's like those are 2 players. And we have players that are not in the Olympics as well, but we have kind of a bit of a balance of like a lot of our good players are not going to be in the Olympics. And thus, when we come back. So I don't know. I think Pens will probably do something, but I don't see them making any crazy
Not before this trade
moves.
Deadline.
No. Not anything super, super crazy because I think, like I said, at most maybe left-handed D, maybe some kind of a forward piece. We've gotten rid of so many AHL players that it's kind of harmful to the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Penguins. So maybe does some like lower level trading for some AHL guys just to kind of appease
the gaps that are there.
The Scranton there. Yeah, because like the whole point of the farm team is like the Penguins do have a farm team that like our AHL guys have been shown they have a path forward when needed. So I don't know. There's just it's really going to come down to what happens before the Olympics.
Yeah.
And then I think it's once we're pretty sure who's making playoffs and who's going to be like in that last fight for the wild card, we're going to, I think, see some pretty drastic moves from the retooling people.
You know, there's also been rumors, and this came out an hour ago, that the Canucks are trying to trade Evander Kane. And first of all, they tried to trade him back to the Oilers.
And the Oilers said, you can fucking keep him.
Because we don't want him. Now there's talk about him going to either the Avs or the Stars.
He go to the Avs and their fucking Canada team, but not to the Stars. I don't think he would fit well there.
No, I agree. How do the Stars have that money and don't have the money to re-sign Robo? First of all. Second of all, I just don't see him fitting with either of those teams.
I see him fitting fine with the Avs.
Really? Okay.
I don't like the Avs.
Well, fair. But I mean, like, actually, the Avs do have a good locker room. And he's not really, he's what did they call
I want him
JT
to go to the
Miller?
Avs. The Avs don't fucking win.
There you go. That's just weird to me. I'm not shocked that they're trying to trade him.
What does he bring there to either team? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Enforcer?
I just don't.
But
they have guys who fight on both teams. Like, I don't see. Like, there's just nothing. Like, I could understand. Like, maybe not now for the Pens because we've got like Clifton.
Cliffy,
big boys, Braz and Mantha. Like, Mantha's not afraid to throw hands. seeing this is getting back to the game, but one of your guys was like getting up.
It was Yanmark.
It was Yanni. It was Yanni going after Braz, and Braz is like a foot fucking taller than Yanni. It was just so funny.
Oh, brother.
But yeah. We'll see how that goes. I thought it was funny was when he was stuck on the Canucks.
I think it's still funny that he's stuck on the Canucks.
Funny,
they should just not be able to trade him.
I can't. I don't see why. Why do you trade him? Because he has playoff experience. Go after Corey Perry. Like, I don't understand. Like,
the Canucks don't want to win. Like, they don't. They want to lose. They want to tank. They want to get either the first pick for next year or, they're back on a rebuild, like another rebuild.
Rebuild.
If they stayed in this, I wouldn't be mad at all. Sucks to suck for the Canucks fans. I'm gonna get a penalty.
Yeah, we can go cheer for the Golden Eye and their cute little bird flapping.
Yeah. All right. Let's also move on to, before we get out of our quick topics of the week. Is it too early to say that the Ottawa Senators season is over?
No. I think it's dead in the water.
Okay.
I think that okay. Where are they in the standings? Like,
they are at.
Maybe I'm jumping the gun a little bit. Let's see. Standings for the league. Well, we'll look at
Wild they're at the very bottom. They're at 53 though. So they're 53. They have 52 points.
So they're in a race to the bottom, but they're not
out of it.
I think so. Like, the Rags are out, right? Like, we just don't see them getting to a wild card because it's 12-point difference.
Yeah,
that's, you got to win 6 games and hope
that the Rangers were that low.
Yeah, that's why the retool did not come surprising to me. Oh. I was very happy. Yeah, the Caps and the Devils are both doing worse than I thought. That the Caps are doing worse than I expected them to do. The Panthers aren't out of the running either, but things have started to settle a bit more, and it's still like technically anyone's game in the wild card, but a lot of teams are going to have to do a lot of losing for some of these bottom teams to have a shot.
Especially the Sens. And after last night, we were again on call and we were watching, and we saw the massive collapse of the Ottawa Senators to the Nashville Predators. It was like 2-, like they had a 5-goal comeback. And so
wow, I wonder what that's like.
Now, it wasn't all at once because it wasn't unanswered. It was they scored 4 goals in the last quarter or period. So, like, I mean, yikes. And then there's like bad vibes in the locker room. First of all, the guys who started spreading rumors on Twitter, fuck off, about Lena Solmark. That was incredibly insensitive to say. We're not going to address what they said, but like, Ollie has gone on a personal break, and he has every right to do that. And then there were rumors that this is why the team was starting to play bad, and then that got to the point where everyone released a letter, which the Ottawa Senators letter being like, this is the last we will discuss of this, was kind of funny. However, the situation itself was very serious. And then, like, he comes out and he does this interview that he needs a mental health break, and like, that's not making it any better. And then they were starting to go, like, who was it? Jake Sanderson, I think, went after their young goaltender who's been thrust into a position where he wasn't expecting to be here. It's what happened to Stu. It's what happened to Stu.
He's a baby. And I'm sorry, like, I'm all for, like, open communication, and, like, you need to be like, dude, you needed to give us some fucking saves there. In the locker room.
Yeah, not to me.
Not to the fucking press, dude. Like, and I guess he apologized later, but like, that was
that's
a dick
one
move.
Really quick way to kill any motivation you want. Like, that rubbed me such a wrong way. And again, he did come out and was like, listen, I shouldn't have said it at heat of the moment, but you've just now, like, scorned your freaking goalie.
How do you come back from that as the goalie?
Especially somebody that young, who is in an impossible situation.
Ask for a fucking trade.
Honestly, probably.
Like, because that's what I would foresee. Is like, I mean, because that was kind of the thing with Otter. It was basically like, well, either you fire the coach or I walk, like, basically.
Right. And Otter did not deserve any of what happened to him last year. Like, I mean, we can go back and listen to the old podcasts where we were like, fucking fire, get him out.
We were mauling about it because he did the same thing to Flower. But like, I don't know. Like, I think this is a case where your locker room leaders better be super fucking good at their jobs. And you get a sports, you get a fucking therapist in there for couples relationships or whatever.
They
and
need
like
that.
Get them to be like, all right, boys, sit down. This is how we can work through it. Like, I don't know.
I don't think it's not. I think it is too early to say that their season is over, but they are having such a hard time with.
I think we'll know by the Olympic break.
Oh, okay. That's a good prediction. I can see that.
I don't think they're making playoffs. I just don't see it happening.
No.
And we do want to say that we wish Linus Ullmark,
please,
the best. We loved him in Boston. We were so upset when he was traded, and apparently that was one of the things that triggered this.
He's so open about his mental health. Like, yeah,
like it's so nice of how much he's been very open in media and talked about like how hard different things have been, and like when Tuukka Rask came back, and Sway was sent down because him and Sway were so close, and like, you know, just like, and yeah, it's very clear that he has or was a Vezina potential goalie.
Yeah.
And it's just his brain isn't being kind to him. So
he's got the goalie twisties.
Yeah. I wish him the best. I hope everything gets better for him. I hope he gets the help that he needs. And I just wish people would be a little bit more fucking kind about it. Cause toxic masculinity in sports is bad enough where like, I feel like these players aren't allowed to be human so much, and how damaging that has to be on their play. If you don't help them as people, how the fuck are they going to play well? Like,
yeah, really. But speaking of goalie, Saint, we got a goalie fight.
We did get a goalie fight. Oh my God. And it was my baby Nedeljkovic. I was devastated. I was like, okay, well, if we had to lose that, because I was devastated when we traded Ned.
Yeah.
Absolutely devastated. And I was like, okay, at least he's going to the Sharks. The future is teal.
Yeah.
He's feral. One of my biggest regrets was not getting a puck.
The Ned puck that you held in your hands.
I held it in my hand and I was like, no, I'll get it next time. And then it wasn't fucking there when we went in September. And I was so upset. Like literally one of those hockey regrets forever. This is why whenever we go to hockey games now and I'm like, should I buy this? I just buy it. I don't fucking care because I'll never
it changes too fast. Yeah.
It's true. But oh my God, I love Alex Nedeljkovic. He is one of only a handful of goalies now to have a
Gordie Howe
for a goalie, because it's impossible to get all three. So anytime a goalie gets all three, it's a Gordie Howe hat trick.
We were just chilling. Like, it wasn't expecting. Nobody's watching the Panthers. Like, I'm not watching the Panthers.
Yeah, no, like it was just there was other shit going on, and I was just
it was early.
Paying attention.
And we have somebody in our Discord who was like, "Oh my God, the one Florida Panthers game that I don't go to, and there is a goalie fight." And I made Austin pause the show we were watching, sat up. I went, "Sorry?" And like started scrolling, desperately looking for it. And then we got it. And oh my gosh, I've never been more satisfied with a goalie fight. Like the Mike Talbot and Cam Talbot and Mike Smith one was incredible. Like that for the Battle of Alberta will forever be one of my favorite goalie fights of all time. However, watching Ned beat down first on fucking Evan Rodriguez on the Panthers and then whoop Bob's ass was absolutely insane. I was so delighted. And you weren't there. You were like out doing something and I was like, Saint!
I don't fucking remember, but like and then I was texting my cousin and I was like, there was a fucking goalie fight. Oh my God. And he was like, it was the best part of the game. Because the Panthers were getting destroyed by the Sharks.
That was a great game. I love goalie fights. Let goalie fights happen more.
I was like, literally, that's my dream, right? To be able to, like, someone out there at that Panthers and Sharks game, that was their first
hockey game. Oh,
their first hockey game or their first NHL game, and they got to see a goalie fight. It's the first one in 6 years. The last one was Battle of Alberta. Yep. Which is one of our favorite moments in Battle of Alberta and one of our favorite moments in hockey history, because the fucking aura of Mike Smith standing there at the red line waiting because he knows he can't cross it without these is so fucking good.
Such a great freaking
so fucking good.
Yes, please. Referees. Maybe the one person I want to see fight, the one goalie I want to see fight.
I know who you're gonna say.
Jeremy Swayman. Jeremy Swayman, please.
I'm sorry, but the referees this season, the phantom call on
we'll get there.
Okay, but like, okay, whatever. All the bullshit that the refs have put us through. It was literally like they must have been like, well, we don't really have it. We have to let this happen. The fucking Sharks announcer being like, why is Nedeljkovic there?
It's your new vocal stim.
He sounded so genuinely confused. I watch that clip every time it crosses my feed.
Oh, it's so freaking good.
Every time. Oh, so good.
That one will go down as one of my favorite moments of hockey ever. And then what is it? There's somebody said turn to the preschool and everyone's clapping their sticks on the boards. It's because it's the babies on the Sharks.
So funny.
Oh, all right. Well, Saint, do we have a sponsor today?
We do have a sponsor today. Today's sponsor is Saint Astra, a Twitch streamer, cosplayer, and artist. You can support her by purchasing her Etsy or subscribing on twitch.tv/Saint Astra. Use your free Prime sub and get access to awesome emotes. St. Astra's Etsy also sells a variety of jewelry, decorations, and trinkets. Everything is handmade and crafted with the perfect balance of love and spite. All proceeds go directly to the St. Astra Hockey-related DIY fund.
All right, let's turn to our one-timer topic of the week where we take one shot at the biggest story. Saint, this week's topic is the officiating of the league right now. We already started hinting at it earlier, but hey, did you see that Hudson tripping ghost call?
Like, okay, I get it. The game can't... There's so many ways that a hockey game can be delayed for extended periods of time that eat into the TV runs, and they have time slots, and that's why we have only 5 minutes of overtime.
Right.
That's why we go to a shootout. I get it, okay? And I don't want the precedent to be that a coach can challenge a normal 2-minute penalty just to say that it didn't happen. However, I think in cases like that, where the ref must have had a fucking stroke to think that Hudson was even within a foot of him.
Yeah.
I think that there has to be some kind of conditional rule, because they have a delay of game can be decided by the officials, right? Mm-hmm. For anything. They should have called it on the Panthers when Bobrovsky was sitting in the locker room because it was a delay of game, and they should have. They just objectively should have. However, they didn't. In this scenario, we should have a ghost call.
A ghost call,
which is that an official who is in the Toronto room can recall an obviously mistaken penalty. Like, not we need to look at this 5 times, but if they show the replay on the Jumbotron after playing the Law and Order sound effect and everybody goes, what the fuck? That's not a penalty. There's nothing that, like, how did they show that on the replay at the Jumbotron? Like, how did it, I think I would have rioted if that was
exactly.
me and I was there. Like, there's gotta be some kind of in between here, right? Like, we as the NHL community have to agree that, like, no
referees can make mistakes too.
The referees should be allowed to take the call back. It's not a coach's challenge.
The one call I'm thinking of, I don't know if you've seen it. It's in compilation. It was before we watched hockey, but it was a high sticking call. The official called it. The player bucked his head back like he'd gotten hit, and the stick was high, but it didn't make contact. Mm-hmm. And the player who bucked his head back was just reacting. Like, you see a stick coming at your face, you're gonna fucking,
And he said, no, it wasn't a penalty.
Like, that should be something that's standard. However, you know that some teams would take it to their advantage, which is why it should be on Toronto's case. You have this brand new facility to, show off that, we're monitoring every situation all at once, and we are going to be on top of every little error. Okay, great. You see that, you should be like, okay, that's not 2 minutes. Or, hey, dudes, you gotta check that again. And they should be able to take it back. Like, an apology going up to him. Then you have this whole conversation of, well, if that you called that, it was a ghost call, is the ref gonna try and make up a soft call on the other team just because they were the ones that fucked up, that could change games.
Yeah, like, and it was the same shit with, like, trying to think. Oh, it was that, why the fuck do we only allow a 4-minute when it's high sticking?
Okay. If there's blood.
Because that's what I don't understand. I understand injury, that you can't determine an injury and then you're going to have people fucking diving like it's the Olympics. I get it. But, like, the number of times where, like, we've had a player who was bleeding from, like, a
Head.
like they boarded the guy and they gave him a 2, and I'm like, okay, but why isn't it?
Yeah.
Why? Like, why is it not? Or like an elbow, and they'll get a minor for elbowing or something. Okay, but if he's got a bloody fucking nose or missing a tooth,
yeah,
it should be 4. I don't understand that.
I
really don't. Is it just because this? So I guess in legal classifications, if you were not in hockey, like if you were out on the street and you hit someone in the face with a hockey stick and cause them to bleed, it would be a different crime than it would be punching them in the face, like battery and assault versus assault with a deadly weapon or assault with a weapon or something like that. That's the only thing I can think of, but it just doesn't make sense, because regardless, you need to be fucking careful. If somebody's bleeding, give them the fucking double minor. It's so, the number of times, like, oh my God, remember that one fucking call? I think it was last year with the Pens. We had blood and they didn't call it a double, even though it was a high sticking. And we were like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, and yeah, continuing of, like, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Is boarding not a penalty anymore? Like, are you just allowed to board whoever you want?
I love the Pens, but Cliffy flat out boarded Matthias Ekholm last night.
And he did the same thing in that fight that I sent you. I can't remember, it was a couple weeks ago, but, like, it was Clifton again. He absolutely boarded him, and I was like, yeah,
it was the Tampa game.
It was a Tampa game, right? And I was like, he absolutely boarded him. It should have been a penalty. The fight was beautiful, but, like, it was boarding. It was absolutely boarding. Call. I don't like boarding. It is so fucking dangerous. It can permanently end people's careers.
Yeah.
No bueno. No bueno. The Yanni one, or maybe it was the Ike one.
The Eriksson Ek one was the one where we're like, you can make an argument.
It was kind of to the side. It wasn't, like, dead on into the numbers, and maybe that's why they didn't call it. But they didn't call the boarding on Vinny during the Sharks and Panthers game, and it was like a full boarding.
You have to remember, they don't call penalties on the Panthers.
Yes, because fucking Campbell. And it used to be the Bruins, so it's,
Brad Marchand is just sitting pretty.
Yep, he's delighted.
But yeah, the boarding one, you get, like, the consistent calls, tripping, which happens all the time, slashing, which is a very easy to call, high sticking, more often than not, that's an obvious one. But, like, looking at the list of penalties, boarding, charging, cross-checking, elbowing, roughing, that one's another one that's like, okay. But, like, some of these you're like, damn, you rarely see these across the league. Holding the stick, holding in general, interference, like, okay, hooking's another one where it's really good, like, really common one. But, like, it's just one of those things where it's like, okay, great. You have more than one penalty that you can call. You should start calling them.
Yeah, like, I feel like we only get the same couple of penalties now. And I'm like, there's penalties. Like, it was like the illegal equipment penalties.
Oh, playing with the broken stick?
Yeah, and I guess because I read the NHL rulebook one time. Not all of it, but, like, I skimmed it pretty thoroughly. And I guess other people don't know that there's weird equipment penalties.
Yeah.
That, like, if you can play with an illegal stick, there's been certain cases where players have lost their stick and their teammate tried to give them their stick and they couldn't because it would have been a penalty. Like, Chara had to get an exemption for his stick because it's so big, and any other because he's huge, and any other player trying to use it would have been a penalty. And then there was, like, there's just random penalties, like, technically crossing the red line, because there was that one in, like, the 90s or something like that, where like that one
the goalie crossing the red line.
Yeah, he crosses the red line, and it's like, that's an automatic. It's actually a game misconduct, I think.
Yeah. Oh, and God forbid. Okay, I'm about to be pissed again. Fucking listen. There was the New Jersey Devils where they cross-checked Connor, or like they tripped him. Something they took our captain out. Oh, it was a check to the head. And Vasily Podkolzin, my sweet baby boy, came in flying to protect his captain because if the refs aren't going to do it, the team surely is. He threw down the gloves at the same exact time that the Devils player threw the gloves down. And he gets the 2, 5, and 10.
What?
Yes, he got a game misconduct for instigating. Even though they
wait. A game misconduct for
not a game misconduct, a 10-minute misconduct. And got the fucking, because he was instigating allegedly, threw down the gloves at the same exact time as the other player, and they gave him the 2, 5, and 10. I was livid. Absolutely livid. Like that's I understand that these refs have biases. I swear to God, I'm going to go back and look. I bet you it was Kelly Sutherland.
There was a game, and Kelly Sutherland was reffing, and I was shocked because he actually called it.
He called a good one.
I didn't believe it.
Once again, if we know your name, that's a problem.
It is absolutely a problem.
It's just been shit. It's just been so shit.
It has universally, like everyone is talking about how dog shit it is. Like everyone, like to the point where people who are not normally like, and I'm not like we shit talk the refs, all the time.
They deserve it.
We do, but like I'm willing to say when a penalty is a penalty. Like I said, when Clifton did the boarding in Tampa, it was boarding, 100%. Give him the penalty.
Wow, guess what? It was not Kelly Sutherland. I don't know any of these people.
Wow, shocking.
That is very shocking.
That's genuinely shocking. But like there's gotta be something here, right? Like they've gotta fucking figure this out.
Is it sports betting? Is it like complete bias? Is it they're not training the refs right?
So we talked about that a little bit, which is that basically, they're not working their way up on a meritocracy anymore. You know, kind of like how the NHL, you got to be good at the game to stay there usually. Otherwise you get shipped down to the AHL. Mm-hmm. They're not doing that with the refs is what's happening. That's the rumor. That's the rumor.
Listen, I think that they're, honestly, and this will never happen, but I feel like there should be a moment where they sit down and they go, okay, time for y'all to go back to school. And again, I still think that they should have to have some sort of accountability. Like, they should have to face the fucking press. Yeah. Oh, it just drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I want to lose my mind because there's ways to fix it. There's ways to fix it. Like I said, referees should be allowed to talk it out in those scenarios of like the phantom call where like they all go, wait a second, that was not a fucking penalty. Let us take a quick look at it. What is the harm there? It's not like it's a coach's challenge. Like, and that should be up to their discretion of like, listen, we can clearly see another referee said, no, it wasn't like, or yes, it was. The number of times that like we've gotten a late whistle for the Pens and any other team, it would have been like immediately blown when our goalie is fighting over the puck. It drives me up a fucking wall. Like you said, it needs to be accountability. They should have to answer. There should have to be something there that is like, listen, dudes, you can't be doing all this. Greatest sport in the world. You gotta fucking have the refs on lock for it.
Yep. All right, Saint, I have a vibe check for us this week. That's the part of the show where we pick one topic for the week and get straight to the point on how it makes us feel. This one's a little different. I have a question for you, okay?
Uh-huh.
I want you to name a player, active or retired, who you wish could have stayed on one team their entire year. This is a question from Sleeper NHL, and it was a great conversation.
Their entire career.
Their entire career could have stayed in one place. There's a really obvious one.
The easiest answer is Mark.
Correct. Marc-Andre Fleury is really the only one for me. For you, okay. That one is when we went to Flowers' final game, which again, just absolute insanity. I'm so glad that we got to go and experience that, even though it was like sheer chaos getting those tickets.
God bless you.
I think that like that was one of my favorite moments of 2025. And it just really hammers home how much the city of Pittsburgh loved him.
It's one of those scenarios where, like, in retrospect, obviously we should have kept Fleury. But at the time, the correct call was to not put him up for protection. The only thing is that I'm very glad that, like, it's very obvious that him and his wife and his kids really love Minnesota.
And he's helping out there.
Like, it's just, I wish he'd just been able to stay the whole fucking time.
It broke everyone's heart. Like, it literally broke everyone's heart.
That was, like, just, they stole him. And it wasn't like he wanted to go, but it was time. And, like, you know, but the sentimental part of me wishes he could stay. I always have this weird thing about hockey where I don't like to imagine the what ifs, because then you lose out on what did happen. Like, like Sid getting injured, right? That was devastating and awful. And that's one of the things that I do wish someone had been able to figure out what was wrong with him sooner, so that he could have played. But then we don't get Gino and the other Pens declaring their loyalty to him and having the captain sequence. And, like, there's just the thing. I'm not a things happen for a reason person, but I'm a things happened and that mattered kind of person.
I can see that.
You know, and so, like, it is.
I mean, it made his return that much more special. Right? Every single time Math came back to Pittsburgh, it was like the joy of Pittsburgh returned.
Yeah, and, like, it was, I don't know. There was just, I wish, yes, 100%, I wish he had been able to stay with the Pens for life. But then you wonder sometimes, would it have been that fond? Like, would he have been able to play to the degree that he did play for those other teams without that push there?
Marc-Andre Fleury is the correct answer. However, we have some other answers. Number one,
Claude Giroux.
Claude Giroux.
Just because I'm sure he's great on the Seds, but man, he should have just been a Flyer for life.
Yeah.
Right? You know, like, he's just one of those where I feel like he should have just been a Flyer.
It kind of fits him too. Like, I don't see him as a Senator still. I see him as a Flyer.
I see him as a Flyer in a Senator's uniform. Like,
exactly.
He's always a Flyer to me. He is a Sens player. And
Gritty would have, literally, we found out that Gritty would have a statue of Claude Giroux on his freaking anti-runners club marathon. The other options, there are incredible names on this list, but another one that stood out to me was Joe Pavelski when he left the Sharks and went to the Stars. Man, I mean, nothing will be as good as the Stars or the Sharks comeback after he got injured. Like, that was their captain.
Sorry, Marc-Andre Fleury.
Yeah, sorry. But no wonder, like, he was the heart and soul for that team. And so,
yeah, and he had good times with the Stars, and I think the Stars treated him well. But just damn, he should have just been there. Chara, leaving the Bruins as well. Yep. I think, you know, and Marshy obviously, but
Marshy should have been. Like, that's recent though.
Total recency bias, but I would say Chara honestly, because
let's see.
But Chara didn't, so I feel like I can't remember.
For me, well, this isn't one team. Like, he should have stayed on the team. Is Connor Brown. I will always say that. Connor Brown is an Edmonton Oiler, and it will never change. Let's see. Oh, Steven Stamkos, like, leaving the Lightning. That's a crazy one. I feel like he should have stayed. And I'm really sad that he left. Because he, like, that. I mean, he left the dynasty. Like, that broke Tampa for a while. And he's just now starting to pick up his production again with the Preds. So, that was the question of the week. Commenters, who do you think is one person that you would have liked to see stay on a team for their entire career, retired or active? That's your question.
I can imagine some people would say Rantanen, even though a lot of Avs fans hate him.
Well, Avs fans hate him because, he didn't have a choice. Well, he did.
Yeah, he did, but
front office kind of fucked that up. Yeah.
But, like, I think there's definitely some good options out there of, like, for everybody. I feel like has that player that they wish had stayed on their team for life.
Yes,
you know.
Yes. And honestly, I think that it would still be Math for me. That was the number one correct answer for me.
Yeah, that was I had no hesitation in my mind, but I was just, like, in my head going, is there another that, like, yeah, I mean, like, Gretzky, do you say Gretzky? But, like, and also, you know, like, again, it's one of those scenarios of there's so much that happened when they left. Did they need to be loyal to the same team the whole time? Which is why we're very, very blessed as Pens fans
Yes. Oh my God. Yes, you are.
Nobody understands loyalty like Pens do. Like,
All
it's
right.
just undefeated.
Well, let's move into Sportsmanlike Conduct, where we spin the wheel to pick our team of the week. And no matter who it lands on, we have to say something nice and spread a little love on the ice. That was a deep sigh there, buddy.
We've talked about a lot of people I don't like, and so I'm a little worried. Or rather, we've also not mentioned a lot of people I don't like. So.
Okay, all right, let's spin this wheel. We've been the wheel has been cruel to us this year. It's trying to make up for
it's been pretty rough.
Please. Yes!
Finally! Oh, Jets.
The Winnipeg Jets.
I do like you. This is such good timing because we just saw my beloved Captain Adam Lowry.
Yep.
Fucking just dogging on Matthew Tkachuk. So beautiful. So beautiful. My captain. One of my favorites in the NHL.
I love Adam Lowry too. I knew you were gonna go for that one.
Immediately. I love Adam Lowry. I like their jerseys are cool too. If there was a team in Canada to break the curse.
Yes, that was my answer. I want that's it. If there was no other team other than Edmonton, I want it to be the Jets.
Yeah, like when we ranked in our heads one time, we were like, who's going to break the curse, right? Like the Canadian curse. Who is it going to be? And who would we tolerate? There was literally no other Canadian team that we would tolerate other than the Oilers and the Jets. Like,
my sportsmanlike conduct being, I would tolerate you to win the cup is so generous.
It is actually like a big fucking, because we were talking about it in the past 2 cup runs when the Jets were in the playoffs, and we were like, man, like, who do we want? And in our brackets, I was like, man, well, if someone's going to get there, I hope it's the Jets if it can't be us, you know.
If it can't, and I still feel that way. I feel awful that they're having the season that they're having.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about why they might be having such struggles, but
shout out to
Melon Maker. Oh my gosh, thank you. We love seeing everyone's breakdowns of their own personal teams. Sarge giving us the Rangers lore that we would not have paid attention to, and then Melon Maker, who went in on a 2 a.m.
Say when I bitch and I'll be like, I want a 5-page paper. Melon
That's
Maker
exactly that is the standard. I hope we do your Jets proud. I still think that they have at least 1 or 2 more cup runs in them with Adam Lowry. And Connor Hellebuck. Oh my gosh, Connor Hellebuck.
Right? Like, again, they just have a lot of fun players on their team. I do enjoy. I just feel like we don't talk about them as much because we're too busy talking about the teams that we face more often.
Yeah.
Or that are in the news more often. They just don't get the attention.
I'm so sorry that your team is in a place that people hate. That was the one we had last year where nobody wants to go to Winnipeg.
Nobody wants to play there. Yeah.
And I'm like,
we don't even have an airport.
Listen, as somebody who lives in a relatively small city, I would go to Winnipeg. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this episode, folks. We really appreciate listening in through all of our rants and ramblings, especially this episode. Good Lord, we rambled a lot.
We had a lot of topics this time.
We did. Compared to last week, we talked all hockey. The Puck Witches podcast is released on Spotify and our YouTube channels, and you can join the Night Witches Discord via the link below to talk about the episodes directly, as well as enjoy our other channels. It's full of gaming, hobbies, and good vibes.
Make sure you're following us over on Twitch, and if you want to support us with a Twitch Prime on either or both of our channels, you get access to cute emotes and extra channel points. If you enjoy this podcast, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky for updates.
And lastly, don't forget to check out Saint's Etsy or subscribe on Twitch. Also consider dropping a like on this episode and subscribing so you never miss a video. We love you all and hope the hockey season is treating you well. Champ and Saint, signing off.
Stay witchy and safe, because that storm's fucking scary.